put in here, it will go to whoever you, whatever email address is set up for the account. So I'm going to go back away from here, and I'm going to go back to the first page, pretend like you've already logged in, and then you're going to see a page like this. This one I've logged into a customer called Greenstone Fields. I put a fake order in yesterday, so I would have a fake order or incomplete order to show you. This is inbox right now, that's empty, but if you had gotten tracking email sent to you, that would be in there, or any other things would be in your inbox. What we're going to deal with today mainly is these first few here: creating an order, changing an order, tracking orders, and then all the way down here, we'll also talk briefly about claims down the bottom here. This one here, because I have an order in this account I put a Lisianthus in a shopping cart, a tray of Lisianthus, but didn't check it out. So it's right here showing it requires attention. We're going to come back and do that later once we go through some other stuff. Mainly, if you're first starting out on WebTrack, you're going to want to place an order or check inventory. And that would be this one right here. It says create orders, search inventory. So if you click on that, it opens up a new window. So the window you were using before, you can see it's still in the background. So now you've got a new window here. Oh, wrong one. Create orders, this one here. Hang on a second, it logged me out of her account. I got to log back into her account, just a second. I can log onto everybody's account to check things. So I'm just going to open up the account again real quick. So you would never see a window like this. When you first log on, you're going to come to this next window that pops up. This one. You would not have the one that says change customer number. Sure would start with this items requiring attention. If there's no red flag or a number, you don't have to worry about that. But we're going to go to create orders to search inventory. It opens a new window, takes a minute. And this is because that red flag was there. It's telling me, do you want to fix that problem? I'm going to say no, because we're going to go back to that later. This says cash before shipment, which means it needs to have a credit card on file. If this doesn't come up, then your account is usually set up to net 30. And that would be shown on your acknowledgement, what your billing terms are. So we're going to start today. If you have a different ship to address, this would be here, and it would tell you, it would pop them automatically, make you pick a ship to address. So this one only has one. So this is the address where it would go. You can either buy, order seeds or plugs, plants, bulbs, everything else. So you have either seeds or anything else you need. You always have to go to this point and pick a ship date. We're going to pick a date in April 19th. And we're going to then search for products. And what that's going to do is bring up the next window where you'll search for things. If you were to just type in here, Lisianthus mariachi, it's going to search through probably 1 million different items. So if you know you're looking for stuff from a particular grower, such as Grow and Sell, you go to this any supplier, click the little magnifying glass, another window pops open with all the different suppliers. And then you go to Grow and Sell, pick Grow and Sell here, and then click apply. And now it'll say Grow and Sell in that supplier section. So you're only searching Grow and Sell's items. So then if you type in Lizzie and then mariachi, you don't need to put the whole word. That's really helpful because if something is abbreviated, if you type just the first few letters, you'll find it. So I'm going to find Lisianthus mariachi. And I'm leaving this to search for all products. So it'll show me if they even sell it. Not necessarily if they have it in stock, but if they sell it. Okay, here's the word used for Lisianthus, Lizzie, L-I-S-I-C-F for cut flower. So if you were to type up in Lizzie CF, it would tell you all the cut flower Lisianthus. I put Mary for mariachi, so all we have is all the mariachis here. So all of these are varieties that Grow and Sell offers, but they're all sold out for these weeks, so you can't buy them. So if you go here and go forward 3 weeks, they're still all sold out. So these 3 boxes here, 3 weeks forward, 3 weeks back. I'm just trying to see if we can ever get any Lisianthus mariachis from Grow and Sell. So here, all up to May 24th, it shows TBC. That means to be confirmed. Basically, that means they have time to grow it, but they have not planted it until somebody buys it. So you could try and buy some of this Lisianthus here, and then they would confirm it the next day. But I'm going to go back real quick because when I first started here, I made a mistake. I didn't enter as a customer, I entered as me, which can see too much stuff. So I want to make sure it looks like the same window that you guys are using. So I'm going to check here, act as a customer. Okay, so that's that one item requiring attention. We'll go back and create orders again and search inventory. Now, because I erased it, it'll all be back to blank, nothing on there. We don't want to fix this order there yet. We're going to pick a date again. I'm going to pick the April 19th again. But this time, I'm just going to search for Lisianthus, but not put a supplier. So I'm going to do Lizzie, just CF, and see who has Lisianthus. I got to spell it right. Who has Lisianthus cut flowers? But I'm going to do one other thing. Down here, you have these two buttons. One to show all products. That'll show you anybody who grows that product, whether they have it available or not. Now I'm going to switch and check this one. Only show products that are available. So if you know you want Lisianthus to ship the week of April 19th, and then hit search, it'll come up any that are available then. Because I'm searching from all the suppliers, it can take a little while. But it's searching for Lizzie cut flower from, there's probably maybe 15 different growers that do the Lisianthus cut flower, but it's also searching the other 100 and some vendors. So right there, nobody has Lisianthus available for week April 12th. So now I'm going to do this right here. You got the 3 weeks back, 1 week back, 1 week forward, 3 weeks forward. I'm going to do the 3 weeks forward and see if anything comes up. And this is also a lesson of why you should always order your plugs in advance. Always order your plugs in October so they're grown for you and you'll know you're going to get them. So here you go. One grower over here, it says Grow and Sell, has 1 tray of Lisianthus Echo Lavender available May 3rd. And see where it's the same 125 on May 10th. That's the same tray both weeks because it has a 2-week shelf life and then they throw it away if they haven't sold it by this 3rd week, May 17th. The other thing to know is when you search, up here we had May 10th as the search date now. That's always the center column here. So what it's showing you is the week you wanted, May 10th, plus the week before and the week after. So that'll help you sometimes find something that's ready a week before or the week after you wanted it. Now, if you go forward 3 more weeks, you start to see a lot more Lisianthus available because then they have time to grow them. Again, it's searching through hundreds of vendors. So it takes a minute to come up. Now you look at all these, and these are all saying available. This Baltagawa out in California, Q-Pack in New Jersey. But you can see here, they're showing they have 140,000 of them available this week. They have not planted those, but that's how many seeds they have available. So if you wanted a lot of those for June 7th, you could still order those today, and it would have time for them to plant them and grow them for you. A couple other things to point out. Say you're trying to grow, trying to buy a box full of product from a grower, whether it's Lisianthus, whether it's from Q-Pack or Baltagawa. If you go on the right-hand side here, it says supplier and click on that, it'll then sort all the suppliers alphabetically. So all the Baltagawa will be together. So then if you're looking to fill a box from Baltagawa, which I know it takes 5 boxes, you can then see Baltagawa is way down to here. You can buy any of these to fill that box. Now, the other thing is with the supplier, you can click on their name here and it comes up with all of their terms. And if you go here to supplier terms and scroll down, it tells you a tray of 200, you're only paying for 195 of them. They charge you for 195. So that 195 is the number you would put in the box when you're ordering. Then if you go down here, minimum per variety, not available, means you just only have to buy 1 tray per variety. Same thing here. You don't have to buy just 1 tray per variety. How many plants are in a case? This is the important thing. So if you take a 200 size tray, there's 800 in a box. That means there's 4 of that size tray to fill a box. The 288, actually they charge for 275, so that takes 5 of those to fill a box. You always want to fill a box because it's cheaper per tray to ship it, and also less damage usually because the things can't move around inside. And this tells you the standard size of the box, how much the box weighs. This is telling you here where a 288, they sell it as a 280, a 384, they charge a 375 plugs. So that's just the terms that you can read on that. It explains how many go in a box, so you fill in a box. When we go into the shopping cart, it also tells you, again, there's a pop-up window that tells you if you've not filled a box. But before that, I want to show you a couple more of these buttons up here. You can limit it to suppliers in your country, which not so important for plugs, but if you're doing sometimes unrouted cuttings, you're ordering something that comes in an unrouted cutting, it'll be showing you offshore suppliers for unrouted cuttings. Ball suppliers, they're Ball Gold suppliers. Those are the ones that they've worked with for years. They're either possibly owned by Ball or a partnership with Ball. The quality is #1. Order fulfillment is 99.99%, almost 100%. Always you get what you ordered. Because if you look over here, you get 5 stars and 5 flowers. Ball Tagawa has a little ball. They're a gold supplier. There are 5 flowers and 5 stars. And it explains right there, to be 5 stars, you have to have 98% fulfillment. So 98% of their product people order, they do get it. And then this is the quality, which means they're not getting plants that are too young to ship. They're not rooted well. That was 99.1 to 100% to get the 5 stars. So they're always sending out a good product. So you can, if you want to do just search for gold suppliers. The only thing, if you do that and you're looking for cut flower stuff, you're only going to see Ball Tagawa, because Ball Tagawa is the only gold supplier that specializes in cut flowers. Most of the others are just annuals and perennials. Perennials that cut flower growers may need, but usually you would just not want to check the only search that. You might do the ones only in your country. And new products, you might use that if you know it's something new. But usually I just leave these all unchecked. There is a favorite here. If you can fill in your hearts here to making your favorites. Again, if you know you always like Lisianthus, ABC, Misty Blue, you can put hearts on that. And then when you search, you can search just for those items. So I'm going to uncheck those. There's a spot here where you can download the results. That's like if you got all these Lisianthus in here from all these different growers, and you want to say, well, what are the prices at the different ones? Because there's no prices here. You can go here and check on each one and say, okay, that's $2.73, $273 per 1,000. So you have to do the math. So it's 27.3 cents per plug. The other option is you can go here and you've got everything, all these Lisianthus, cut flower Lisianthus varieties. Go to download results. It'll take a minute because there's so many here. And then do include pricing, and then you have to do your email address. If you don't want the pricing, you can just download it and it'll be in a pop-up window. You can see the list, but there's no prices. So if you click that and then put in your email address here, it'll send you a spreadsheet showing all 3 of these weeks, what's available and the price. Just remember the price is always per 100 or per 1,000. So you have to do the math to figure what is the price per plug. So I'm going to cancel that. The other thing, you always want to try and use the home and the back buttons. Don't use the browser buttons to go forward and back or cancel. That usually will cause a glitch. So we're back up here where we searched for the Lisianthus cut flower for any supplier, then we searched. Now say if you decide, oh, I want to just see cut flower Lisianthus from a different grower, just one grower. If you click the magnifying glass here now, WebTrack is pretty smart. It knows who sells Lisianthus cut flower. So when this window pops up, it's a much smaller list. It's only a few varieties, a few different growers. There's no D or E or F. So you touch the B, that's it. There's only 7 growers that do cut flower Lisianthus. So then you know if you really want it, I just want grow and sell because they're close to me, or I just want cube pack because they're on the East Coast. You can do that and hit apply, but it's not applied yet until you go back and you have to hit search again and then it'll sort out and just show whatever you checked there just for the Q pack. So now all that's here is Q pack. And see, they're showing that they can do nothing in early May, first week of June, they can grow all these Lisianthus for you. But as a cut flower grower, you probably know that's kind of late to be planting Lisianthus, so you wouldn't order those Lisianthus. The other things up here is if you're searching and you want to just start all over, you can go to reset options and it erases everything that we're searching for up here. There's suppliers gone, your Lisianthus cut flower is gone. But this has not changed because you haven't done the search. If you did search, it's going to tell you have to put a search item up here. You can do more search items, but again, it's things you're probably not going to need. It's the genus, product group, but like product group, it's perennials and bedding plants. So it's nothing you're as a cut flower grower that you're going to use. If by chance you know the item number, you can put that there. But I'd never use that. Then here's something that's really good. It's product search. There's other places you can get to this, but this is just taking you to Ball's online directory of all their plants. So if you go here, I'm going to click the L for Lisianthus, go down here to Lisianthus. You could also type in Lisianthus if you wanted to, but I'm going to do it this way and scroll down to Lisianthus. And it's going to show all the Lisianthus they offer either as seed or as plugs. And I'll tell you right here, this is available as seeds and plugs, seed and plug, seed and plug. You can go here to product information and it'll come up with a sheet like this. And you can even go more in depth onto a website. Well, I shouldn't have done that. Well, it's in the background where it goes to a online, like culture sheets. You can download more stuff here. It's downloaded here. This is the Ball Seed Cut Flower Catalog that has all kinds of information on it. There's the pictures of all the different Lisianthus, because that's all the ABC colors of Lisianthus. But this also, one other thing is here is high resolution photos, which are photos that you're allowed to use on your website, in your newsletter, whatever you want to do, as long as you use the correct picture with the correct name. Like, don't just put up a white Lisianthus if you're not selling that variety, but you can download these pictures and use them on your website or on your newsletters, as long as you are buying the product from Ball. Don't use our pictures if you're going somewhere else to buy your plants, or if you're not growing that flower, don't use that picture. But you can use these. You're supposed to give somewhere on your website that the photos are courtesy of Ball Seed. It can be fine print on the back page or the bottom of the page. But it's really helpful, all these pictures, and some of them are quite detailed, lots of different options for each one. So we're going to go back now to the page here. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Go back to Ball WebTrack home. This is again where we were doing that search. But now we didn't create any orders. We're going to go back now and create an order. This time I'm going to do some flower bulbs. So we're going to pick a date. Again, we don't want to fix that bad order yet. We'll do that at the end. We want to pick a date. And there's two things here. You can pick a week. If you want to type that in, you could, or you can type into here or use the little calendar. This is the week numbers here. And then the date is the Mondays. If you pick any weekday when doing plants and plugs, it'll always revert back to the Monday. If you're doing seeds, it will let you do a seed order for a Tuesday or Thursday, whatever day you want. So I'm going to do April 19th, search for products. And I'm going to go here because I want to search for Edney in New Jersey, because Edney has a warehouse in Oregon and New Jersey. So go here to Edney, New Jersey, apply. Then I'm going to search for gladiolas. So I'm just with glad. You don't have to put the whole word. But then I all want to show what's only available. So I click this box here, and then I search. And what we're going to do here, this shows all the gladiolas they have available. Again, here's their name, Edney Flower Bulb, New Jersey. Here's what they have available. Gladiolus Amsterdam, size 12-14. They have 2,600 of those available. Astarte, size 14-16. They have 3,600 available. Again, this column in the middle, the peach tan color is the week you chose, but you can also put in the other weeks. But say you don't know how many come in a bag or in a box or in a tray even when you're doing plugs. Say you want to buy 50 gladiolas. You think that's all you need. You put 50 in there. This pop-up window comes up here, tells you that they have a $125 minimum and a $15 charge if you're under the minimum. Remind you to make sure you're picking the right warehouse for editing. There's one in New Jersey and one in Oregon. But what we've done, I'm going to close that. I put 50 in here thinking, can I buy 50 of them? But if you put a 50 there and then go over here to update cart, that'll revert to 100 because the minimum for the gladiolas is 100. So that changed it to 100. The same thing would happen if I put, I want 50 of this and then go to the cart. It's going to take that 50 I asked for on both of those and it changes to 100 because you have to buy at least 100, multiples of 100 on that. So I'm going to use this button here and go back to where I was searching. Now it erased, went away the window I was picking them out of, but if you hit search, because it shows it's Glad and Edna here, go search and brings up the same list again. The 100 is there and the 100 is there. That didn't go away. You can do 500 on this one. Now you can fill in all these amounts and quantities, 200 there, 100 here, without ever going to update cart or go to cart. As soon as you type it in this line, it's in your cart. Okay, you don't have to do update cart or go to cart with every one. So the other thing you can do, if you're the kind of person who wants to get the same thing shipped every 3 weeks, say you want these gladiolas, that's what you want that week, but you want to do another order 3 weeks from now. You don't have to go to your cart now and check out. You can use this button up here for 3 weeks forward. It'll be the same items you search for, but 3 weeks later, okay, let's do 500 of this one, 500 of this one, and 100 of this one. And then if you go to your cart, so that's all in there, go to cart, and you got April 19th and May 10th. You can also go here to view your pricing. The little button here says view pricing. And now here's your prices, and it also gives you a total of everything. But this is still 2 orders. You have May 10th and April 19th. When we go to finish now and check out, it's going to split it into 2 different orders. We'll show you that in a second. This is another spot where you can download the cart. Hit the download button. You need to do Excel or comma separated values. Most people want to Excel. Now this is going to download it right here where you can, it says it's ready. It pops up at the bottom of your screen here. And what that does is gives you a spreadsheet that you can look at. Oops, wrong one. Again, here's the business name of the farm I'm working with. It tells you what's available, what you requested, ship week 16 and week 19. Also has the date in this column. Tells you what's still available. If you want to buy more, it tells the price and your total. I often use this when somebody calls me up and says, I wanted to know what the prices are for these 15 different things. I'll put them all in a shopping cart, download the screenshot of this, download the spreadsheet, send it to the customer, then delete the order. I don't check it out. So it gives them a list of everything they asked for, the prices and the total, and it's pretty quick and easy. You can do the same thing. If you want to figure out your pricing, do this, then go back and empty the cart. So I'm gonna go back here to the cart. Like I said, this is 2 different ship dates. So if I go now, finish now, this is where it's going to come up and tell me the case quantities. Because gladiolas, yeah, the lilies don't, the bulbs don't always do the math right. Because I know that this is buying 600, 1100. That's 2 crates, and this is 2 crates there. So it is 2 crates. So sometimes the bulbs don't look at that too closely. So I'm going to just say continue. The option is to return to the cart and buy another tray of plants to fill a box. But for the bulbs, WebTrack's not doing the math right yet. So now here's another thing. They've already got an order here from created back in January with that same ship date. So you can add to that order, or you can create a new order. I'm going to create a new order because we're not really going to finish this one. So I'm going to create new orders. And here's where it separated into 2 different orders. If you look here, this one ends in 307, this is 308. I like to switch this to ship best way for the bulbs. Edney would never ship anything overnight. It just defaults to overnight on some accounts. But for plugs, leave that whatever it is. Again, they ship it the best way. If you do it the best way and they're 3 days away, they're going to ship it as overnight or 2-day for plugs. So you can see this made into 2 different orders. So here's the next thing you can do is check this box right here. Make sure that's your correct email address, and it'll email you a copy of the order or orders when you're finished. And you go here to payment details and submit order. I'm not going to do that because I know that she's a net 30 customer. As soon as I do that, the order is going to be done. So I'm going to go back to view the final cart and show you some other things you can do here. When you're in your cart, you got boxes here. We can check that and get every item in the box in the order, or check individual ones. And then you can cancel selected items or change the ship date on selected items. Now you can't change the ship date on all of these at once because they're 2 different dates to begin with. But I could take all these ones from May 10th, check those, go to change the ship date, and say, do you want to change the ship date on the 3 items? I say, okay. It comes up and I want to pick a new date. I just want to get it a week later. May 17th, say to go to that date. It's going to come up with this, and you can change. Here's May 17th. You want to change them all to May 17th, check that box, and they're all turned blue. Or you can say, I only want some of them to go to May 17th and not check them all. But then you go here and say, change ship dates. And when this comes up, now this says May 17th. The other thing you can do is you can go here and say, oh, I decided I don't want that one and that one. Just cancel those items, say okay, and then they're out of the cart and gone. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete all of these because this is a fake order. I don't want to send them to this customer. So I'm going to cancel all those. It says cancel 6 items, and now that order is gone. It never creates an order number until you actually check out. So this is just all done in the background, and now it's gone. One thing to remember, if you leave items in your cart and log out and don't go back, they can be sold to somebody else. It only holds it for you. I think it's only about 2 hours or maybe overnight. So notice if you got a shopping cart full of the dahlias you wanted, or the plug trays of Lysianthus that was on availability, you need to check those out and do the whole finish order now process. Or when you go back tomorrow or next week to do it, it would say, it would have the variety, the quantity you requested 50, and it says shipped 0 or available, sold out, and they're gone. So don't leave stuff in your shopping cart for too long. So I'm going to go back to home here. I'm going to show you real quick how to make an availability list. So say you're looking for lilies from Edney. There's too many to fill in one screen on the computer. So if you go back here and say, you want lilies May 3rd, search for products. I want just the lilies from Edney. So I'm going to do Edney, but I'm going to say I'm out in Oregon. So I'm going to do the Edney, Oregon, which is here, Edney Flower Bulb, Oregon. Apply. I want to write here just Lily. Do only show products that are available, and then search. And what that's going to do is it's going to take a minute and give me all the lilies in Oregon available to ship the week of May 3rd. And once this comes up, I'm going to show you how to download a spreadsheet of that for 2 things. So you can see the price of them all. Because if you were trying to figure out, okay, which one do I want? How much is, you got to check on every one to check the price. If you go here and download the results, it takes a minute. Check the include pricing box, put in your email address, and that'll be in your inbox. It takes about 5 minutes for it to go through, but then you'll have a spreadsheet that you can look at that'll list all the items with the price per 100. So again, you have to do the math. Like the lilies might say it's $59 a 100, which means it's $59 a bulb. And then you got to figure you're only buying 25, so it's 59 cents times 25. But that spreadsheet will be in your inbox in a few minutes, and it's much easier to look at that because you can see each line item has the price on it, as opposed to going here and saying, okay, well, this one is 96 cents each, and this one here is 81 cents. It's just much quicker to have it all as a printout to work with. And also, there is a way, I'm not going to show you today, but there is a way to take that spreadsheet, put your order right on that spreadsheet, and then upload it back in. I'll show you where it's at if you want to ever try that. Once you get that spreadsheet, there's a column where you put in how many you want to order that date. And right here, upload orders, you upload that spreadsheet and you've placed the order. but we're not going to do that today. That's a little more advanced than what I think most of you want to do. Okay, so that's how you search inventory to get an availability list or to place an order. The other important thing to know is a lot of people are looking for eucalyptus plugs or lisianthus plugs this time of the year. Almost impossible to get eucalyptus plugs because there was no seed this spring, so they couldn't even grow any. But if you're looking for lisianthus plugs, I showed you before, we searched and it wasn't until much later that some appeared in availability. But every week, the growers might put out more trays that are available. Either they have some extras because they have, if they sold 10 trays of mariachi white one week, they're going to grow 11 trays so they can take plants out that last 11th or maybe even 12th tray to make sure the 10 trays they sold are completely full. So then after they do that, if they have leftover trays, then it goes in the availability and it may show up on here on Monday morning and be gone by Tuesday. So that's why if you're looking for lisianthus or any kind of plug at the last minute, don't go in and just check one day and say, okay, they don't have any. You want to check every few days or at least check every Monday morning, and you might find what you're looking for. Okay, now we're going to go here to view and change orders. This is if you've got existing orders and you either want to know that you want to add to it. Say you had a lily order shipping to you the first week of June, and now you want to add another variety to it. Or you have lisianthus going to you or a plug order that you're either picking up or shipping in 2 weeks. And you want to see what else can I add to that, just to have more space. There's a way to add to the orders. So you brings up this window here. This requested ship date is for an entire year from this February to next March. I say leave it at that. If you were ordering, if you had 150 orders a year, you want to narrow it down to the time frame you're looking for. But if we search this one, I know she's probably got maybe 12 or 13 orders for the whole year. So it's not hard to find what you're looking for. So I'm going to click the search button. And here's her orders that she's got. Everything from February 8th to May 3rd and even beyond, because this is by order number sorted. You can do, again, you can search for order date, and the most recent one will be at the top. The last shipment down here, July 19th, is at the bottom. So a couple of things I want to point out here. This is a order from Grow and Sell. She had plugs. It'll tell you here plugs are bedding. And this is confusing. It says azaleas, bulbs, and hydrangeas. They did change that. Used to say, but just know that azalea bulbs, that means that's your lily bulbs, callas, dahlias. That's the description there. Ball system gives orders a purchase order number, this FN number. When you're checking out, you can change that to something you want. So if you know you want to keep track of lily order number 1 or your lisianthus plugs, you can change that as in the process of checking out. I find that helpful if you're looking here and I'm trying, okay, where's her tulip order? And I can't, nothing says tulip here. You got to guess when the ship date is and then try and find the right order by viewing it. If you had put in here, when you place every order, this is your ranunculus order, this is your lisianthus order, this is your whatever different order your scented geraniums, it's much easier to find it later if you want to make any changes or look at it. But we're going to look at her orders here. This first one here, if you notice here, the change order, you can't change it. There's no link because there's a red square. Red square means you can't do anything to it. You cannot change it. You can view it. You can display it and print it. You can copy it and do the same order again, but you can't make any changes. On this one, because it shipped already, February 8th. So here, there's a little truck over here on the right. You can click on that. This shipped on February 8th, and there's the tracking numbers. You can click on that, goes right up. It's going to tell us that it got delivered by UPS, delivered by the driver. Says it left at other. Sometimes it'll say it was handed to the man or handed to the woman, just what the driver will put on there, or left on the front porch, put in the greenhouse. But here's something I want to point out real quick. I put this one on my emails last week. If you ever track anything on UPS, click the send updates button. Then you want to send updates for all your deliveries and just follow the instructions here. And then you'll always get, you can arrange to always get a text when everything is going to be delivered later that day or when it is delivered. It's really helpful. So if the FedEx driver or UPS driver leaves it at your front porch or at your mailbox and you're out in the greenhouse or out in the field, you'll get a text message saying that box is here, which is really helpful if the weather's bad, if you've got plugs that you need to get planted, you know that package has been delivered. You don't have to go out and be looking every half hour to see, oh, did the UPS guy get here yet? So I'm going to close away that UPS. I'm not doing that. So And like I said before, the window pops open another window. So here's back to this. This is the tracking. She had 2 boxes shipped in. So that's how you can look at tracking. If there's a truck here, there's tracking. Sometimes it won't have a tracking number yet. It's just they know that it's going to be tracking soon. Check back the next day or sometimes later that day, there will be tracking there. Here's other things I'm going to point out. Here's a green circle. That means you can do anything with that order. This doesn't ship till March 22nd. This is an order coming from Edney. You can change the order, you can view it, and you can display it. To view it, I'll show you what happens. It just comes up and shows you what's on it. 1 crate of Ercolano lilies is all that's on that order. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go to change order on that. And I'll show you what the options it gives you here. This is just popping up with the notes that are on the order. It's just reminders for ships, UPS or FedEx. Sometimes if there's been changes made, or there'll be a note here that says the supplier changed the size or 1 tray was removed because it wasn't available. That would be in here. So I'm going to get rid of that window. Another thing to point out here, this is Lily Ercolano, size 14, 16, bought 300. Can't buy anymore. That's sold out. If that didn't say sold out and said 800 here, you could change this number to 600 and buy 300 more and say finish, update cart, and then finish now. Edney or the supplier would get a notice that the order has been changed and you've increased it. Or you can go to this button here that says add more items. You're going to be buying again from Edney, the same location that's automatically filled in. You're looking for lilies. You can type in the lily. You can, I'm looking for Royal Sunset. So I'm just going to write Royal. And I want to only show products that are available. And then you see Royal Sunset, not available the week she wants to March 22nd. I can't add them to that order. They're not available till the week after. I could right here put an order for 300 of these, and they would just create a new order for the following week. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to mess with this order. I'm going to leave it alone. Now what's going to happen, I'm going to go back here, go to the cart, because I had this cart open. If I say home, it's going to say, wait, you were in the middle of changing this order. Do you want to make those changes? Because if you don't make the changes, it's going to abandon them. So in other words, if I put other lilies in that cart and don't go to the finish now button here and check out, they'll be lost. But I'm going to say abandon changes because I know I didn't make any changes. It's this Lily Ercolano is still there. So I'm going to say abandon changes. Edney won't get any notices. The order did not change because I didn't change any of the quantity of what was on the order or add anything new. As far as tracking orders, there's still another spot here where you can track orders. And that'll bring up any orders that have been shipped recently that has a tracking little truck picture. Again, you go to search. And there's your truck that you can track. Now this is still showing here. This shipped February 8th, but it's not been invoiced yet. That's why it's still here. Once it gets invoiced, it won't show up in this window anymore. Then it will be down here in the pay invoices window. Where you go here, you can search for all open items. And she doesn't have any open items because she pays every order with a credit card. If you are a net 30 account, you would see any invoices here to pay. Then you're actually able to pay for them right here using either credit card or your bank information and make payments on your account. So we're going to go back. Now, this is one of the few times you use the back button because it doesn't have a way to get rid of this window other than going back. So I'm going to go back here now. I won't fix that order. I'm going to go down here, start claims. Lost internet. And I've never had that happen. I've lived here for 7 years. The power's never gone out. So the power flickered and the internet died, but I'm back. It says my internet connection is unstable. Can you all hear me okay, I hope?
Yes.
Okay. So I was getting ready to say, we're going to start a claim down here. And this is if, say, you got a shipment and the FedEx turned the box up down and half the plugs are broken. Or if you got an order that came in and you're supposed to be getting 50 of something and there's only 25 in the box. This was to do a claim for that. If you have the order number, you can use that. That's in other words, if you got the order came and the packing slip is in there and the ball order number is on there, but there's no plugs. You know, the one tray is only half full or all broken. This, you would click this button, you know the number. If you don't know the number, you can search for orders.
Hey, Dave, 1
Yes.
second. Would you
Uh-huh.
mind resharing your screen, please?
Oh, it's not sharing. I'm sorry.
It isn't. Thank you.
How's that? Now it should be there. Okay. Well, I'm going to go back real quick to this home then. Think you can share. You can see now. Okay. We're going to do this start a claim. If you go down here to this button here, it brings up a window. And if you know the order number, you would click this one up here. If you don't know the order number, you just search by orders. And you know it's shipped, ship date. And I'm going to go back to this one because the only order that on this account that shipped was that February plug order. That shipped February 1st, and I think it's shipped until February 15th. So it'll give me any orders in that time frame. So I'm just going to pick an order and start a claim. I just won't finish it, so it won't cause problems in the background. So this is that Lizzie Anthus order. So I'm going to start a claim right here, create a claim. Or you can look at the order first to make sure, oh, is this the right one? So, yep, this is where she had Snapdragon she got. And what I'm going to pretend is that one of them was just all beat up and dead. It was dead on arrival. So I'm going to go back here, hit the back button. It goes back to the page we're at. Home will go back to the start page. So I'm going to say create a claim. Claim category. Product quality, missing or wrong product. That would be if you order Snapdragons and it showed up with a tray of petunias. Shipping or handling damage, that's FedEx and UPS, not 99% of the time, but quite often. Had a picture the other day where all the plug boxes were sitting on the outside the truck. They delivered and stacked them on their end. They weren't even upside down; they were on their ends. Tags, as a cut flower grower, you'd never have tags. Hard goods, you wouldn't. Pricing would be if you got an order and the invoice came and it's like, wait a minute, my confirmation said they were 89 cents each and they're charging me $1.50. Then you do the pricing here. But we're going to do one here just saying shipping and handling damage. Now it's coming with the big red flag here saying you should do it within 48 hours. So they may not honor this claim because it's been 6 weeks. But my reason is the box was damaged. Well, let's just say, we'll say it was cold, damaged, and frozen. You got to acknowledge it was submitted late because you're doing it late. Then you get to select the items. We're going to say that the cool orange was damaged. So we're going to check the cool orange, say add selected items to the claim. Now here's the stuff you're claiming here. There were 210 that came. That's what your invoice for. We're going to say that 50 of those were bad. Okay. And this window pops up. If that's the end of your claim, there's no chance you're not coming back and say, well, 50 of them died a week later. If you know it's only 50 that were bad because they're broken off, smashed by the truck, somebody stepped on them in the box, then you click here, the final losses. If you don't click that, you have the option to come back in 2 weeks, up to 3 weeks later and say, those plugs were pretty sad looking when I got them. They did not recover from the shipping trauma or the damage. And then you can change your quantity and then click final losses. So you can see it was shipping, handling, it was frozen, damage. Then you go up here, finish now or add photos. If you're doing a claim for anything that was damaged, whether it's frozen, broken, out of the tray, they have to have the photos. So you're going to click here and say add photos and documents, and then you'll upload that where you've taken a picture from your phone and put it in your computer, and then you upload it. So I'm going to just say cancel because I'm not going to upload a photo here. It's reminding you the photos are really necessary. It won't let me go away, so I'm going to go that way. Here's where you can put in notes. You can put in here and say, they were frozen because the FedEx guy delivered them at 9 o'clock at night, and I had no idea they sat out there all night because they're delivered so late in the day. So this is where you put notes. You can say that if you put up here, you said 50 and it's not the final loss, you can say, half the tray was messed up. It looks like the other half is going to grow, but I'm not sure yet. So you're going to just do this as a note here saying the other half may be a later claim. So then you'll finish the claim. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to start a claim with this and have problems. But then it pops up with a who's in charge of that claim, whether you want the communication with you, with your email address, or with your sales rep. Because what'll happen is there's this thing here where you say, because I didn't say final loss, in the next screen, it's going to ask, when are you going to have the final count? 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks? When you put that on there, say 2 weeks, you'll know the final. You're going to get a reminder a week before that and then that day and say, hey, we didn't get the final picture. We didn't get the final count. So you're only getting credit for those 50. You never gave us any update. So the claim is closed and you're going to get credit for those 50 as long as the grower agrees to it. But it's too late to make any changes because you had your 2 or 3 weeks and you didn't come back and fix it. So I'm going to go home. It's going to say, you're sure you want to delete this and abandon this? So I'm going to say yes, because we're not really doing a claim. But then once you have a claim started, then you go back here and view claims and see what is happening with that. This is where you would update the claim to add those other 50. You would search here for it, but it's not going to be anything showing up because there's nothing there. No claims in process. So the claims process is pretty easy. You just start it here with a start, and then you can view it and update it here. The other things here, you can pay your invoices. Here's seed deliveries. The ball seed packages have a barcode that you can scan it, and it keeps track of the lot number. So if there's ever any problem when germination or anything, it grew the wrong crop, they can trace it back and see where the problem occurred. And if you ever do get seed that came that's not right, same thing, you go down here and start a claim for it. Although I doubt you'd ever have problems with seeds. They're pretty good with seeds at Ball. That's kind of like not quite their middle name, it is their name, Ball Seed. So now we're going to go back up here to this item requires attention. This is the order I started yesterday to have an example for now. If you log on and you've got that window that says an order requires attention, it's going to bring it up here and show it. This is a grow and sell order. You can look over here. I started at March 8th at 5:45 in the evening. I requested May 3rd, but I'm going to go through and I can either change it or view it. Since it's making me with a red flag, it wants me to change it. So I'm going to go through and change it. One thing I'm going to point out real quick, sometimes you have a little lock here, and then you can't go in and change the order, but there's a lock where you can unlock it and then change it. That happens if you're in the middle of entering an order and the electric goes out and you lose your connection. It would then save everything in your cart that was there and it would lock that order down. So when you go back, if there's a lock, you click on the lock, a window comes up here, and if you're the one that's able to unlock it, you can just unlock it and then continue working on it. It's possible it's locked by someone in the office, and then you can't unlock it. So we're going here to change this order, and it's going to show me what's in there. I had Lysianthus ABC1 white, 125, and this is a 2BC, to be confirmed, but I didn't finish the order because I'm not sure if I want it. So I'm just going to delete it. The other option is you can add more items to it to fill that box by searching here with the grower and the item you want. I can go back to the order again. I can finish it, although you're only doing one tray. It's still cost you $35 to ship that one tray. You're better to have a full box. You can still go finish later and it'll still show up as a flagged order you need to finish later. You can always do that on any orders. You can do it as a finish later. You don't have to finish it now. You can always finish later, but again, it's not saving that product for you. It can be sold to somebody else tomorrow if it's limited quantity. You can add more items. You can look at your pricing here and see what your total for that tray is, $56.41. These buttons up here are the same buttons down here. That's helpful if you have an order that has 40 things in it. The buttons are at the bottom and at the top. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to get rid of this. So I'm going to go here. I checked it. And I'm going to cancel the item. It's going to say, are you sure you want to cancel it? Yes. So now that's gone. So I'm going to go back home. Now you think, oh, I just took care of it, but why is it still a flag in the number 1? That's because you just need to refresh this page and then that'll go away. So I don't have anything there to fix. That whole order's needing attention. It's not even there. Another thing you can do, probably not very helpful yet because you don't have any history with Ball, but down here you can do reports and documents and do reports of your orders from previous years, which can be very helpful. And you can also sign up for what they call subscriptions. Like right here, this account is set up to go to email when a subscription for a seed shipment is sent out. If they get tags or plants shipped. This is documents or invoices that goes to Barbara at this email address. So this is where you would sign up. Again, it's at this page. If we go back to WebTrack home, at the bottom here, reports and documents is where you sign up for that. Usually new accounts are set up so you get emails for everything, but you might want to check your account to make sure you're signed up for all of these. That way, when tracking emails, you'll get them. You're going to email when a shipment is going to come out. They actually do a weekly email if you have a lot of orders telling you what's shipping out next week. So you remember what to look out for. So I think I've covered lots of stuff. If anybody has any questions, there's any chat in the chat.
No chats right now,
No
Dave.
chats. I'm sorry, I don't even see the chat on my screen.
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions, if you want to unmute yourself and ask a quick question. I see some names I recognize and some people I don't know who you are even. It's just your first name or says cell phone, but
Hey, Dave,
learn. Yes. Hi, Amanda.
on I came in just a couple minutes late. The TDC is, or to be confirmed.
TBC stands for to be confirmed. And that comes up as two different ways. If it's a grower that's like, if you were to try and order plugs in October for March, it's most likely you're going to say to be confirmed, which means they haven't planted all those plugs yet. They will plant them as you order. The other thing, sometimes a grower will have to be confirmed and it's down there for tomorrow. I mean, for next week. Personally, I don't trust that to order that because most likely they don't really have it. If you see something that's going to ship in the next couple of weeks and says to be confirmed, what I like to do is go onto that company's website, whether it's Grow and Sell or Head Start, and see if they really showed on their availability. Because some of the growers are live with WebTrack and their inventory is always updated every 10 minutes or every hour. Some it's only when they upload it once a week or once a day. So if it's a TBC in the really near future, I like to look at their website and see, do I have a good chance of getting it? Do they think they have it? Or is it just the computer at Ball says, well, they might have it. We don't know. They never told us they didn't have it.
Okay. So if we're getting ready to like prep up for biennials or hardy annuals, and the TBC, go ahead and put that in and build that order so they can see we have an interest in it. Okay.
Exactly. Yep. And back to the summer and fall, the hardy annuals and summer succession planning, we're working on that same program that Edney and Glockner had last year with Grow and Sell. It's just not completed yet, which is all the succession planted summer annuals and the cool season, the cool flowers over winter. The biennials. So that'll supposed to be ready in March, but March is here. So give us another week or so.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. Anybody else?
There are a couple of chats now.
Okay.
So one says, does WebTrack give an estimated shipping? Maybe I missed that part. I'm a new grower located in Ontario, Canada.
Okay. It doesn't give an estimated shipping as you go along, but if you remember where I clicked, let me just show you here on the screen, where you can look at the terms for a grower. If you have to scroll through, and sometimes they'll say shipping is X dollars to this state or to this region or this zone. Let me just show you here real quick. Go back to the Lizzie cut flower. It'll take it a while. Also, you got to spell it right.
I'm happy to see other people have typing issues like me.
I was born before typewriters, but I wasn't. But I've never was taught how to learn to. Never was taught to type. I just did it. So if you go here, like to Baltagawa, and it brings up the terms. If you go to supplier terms and scroll down, it tells you minimum variety, multiples. And then somewhere in here, I think I saw one time on theirs, they had a price for shipping. Freight. No, they don't have a price for shipping in here. Yeah, you can always call and we can give you an estimation, but it all depends on how far away you are and how much the box is going to weigh, how big it is. That's really important with bulbs, because bulbs can be really heavy. Like to ship a crate of 500 tulips is way more expensive than to ship a box, which is basically like a shoebox full of 1,000 ranunculus that don't weigh anything. So it's all on size and distance and the weight. But you being in Canada, there is the crossing the border problems that you can have. So there are quite a few vendors in Canada. There is a gold supplier that's in Canada. I can't remember the name. Heather might remember the name.
George Sant, but they don't do a lot of cut flowers.
They don't do much cut flower, but they do a few perennials, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But like Edney is going to start shipping bulb products into Canada easier than they did in the past, because you can do a smaller order and it'll go to Ball's Canadian warehouse and then on to the customer. So it goes across the border all as one big order, one FIDO certificate, one export permit, as opposed to 20 different ones for a bunch of different small orders. So that's in the works for that to be easier to ship stuff into Canada.
And then the next question is, will there be a sale or clearance days like Dowling $1 day?
I have no idea. I'd have to check with Jeff at Edney on that. I'm not in that building anymore. I don't work for Edney anymore. I just sell their product for Ball. I can imagine the nightmare it would be for WebTrack, so I'm not sure how it would work.
Yeah.
My goal is to sell it all before then. That's my job. But there probably will be something. I'm just not sure how it would be done.
Right. And then another question just popped up that says, I can't seem to figure out the pricing on seeds. For example, Scabiosa states $160.
That's the seed pricing is usually per 1,000. And let me go into a seed order and I'll show you real quick seed. Yeah, I didn't go into seed. Same thing, the same create orders, but you pick this first box, you pick the seed. And seed will always default to tomorrow's date because they figure you want it right away. You can change this date if you want. And I often will change it if you go in and you see that it's not available now, it's going to be available on March 20th. I just change the order to March 20th and get all the seed at once, rather than have them send me 2 packs now that are in stock and then 6 packs, 3 more packages in 2 weeks. I just put it all in one because I'm thinking that's the company, and why do we want to send it out twice? Just send it once. So we're going to do this as tomorrow's date. Go to search for products. What was the plant she said, Scabiosa?
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at it for somebody else today. Gotta spell it right again. So here's all the different Scabiosas that Ball sells. It fills one page because down here, see, there is no next page. Sometimes if you search sunflowers or Lysianthus, you may get multiple pages. You can pick how many items you want per page, 25, 50, or 100. I do 100 just to get as many as possible. But like here, Scabiosa Blue Note, there's 203,000 in stock. If you look over here for pricing, click on that, and it tells you this one is $30.11 per 1,000. And it comes in a 1,000 seed package. And it's all available now. But it also shows you there's more available March 22nd. There's more coming in. Also on here, you can click, remember we went before back to the page with all the pictures and the growing instructions. You can do that here. Sometimes it'll bring up a page like this. Sometimes it only brings up just a small picture, but this brought up all the culture guidelines and everything for this variety. Go back to that other page. But some of these don't have that. Any of these ones, especially in the seed that say new, these are varieties that Ball didn't sell in the past, but with the acquisition of Glockner, these were Glockner varieties that came over, so now they're in there. There's no pictures yet. They will be eventually, but there were thousands of items added, so I can't imagine trying to get thousands of pictures in. I can't imagine how they got thousands of items in. So any of these, you can look at the price. It's always per 1,000 here for seeds, so it'll tell you 1,000. But like this one here, it's only $6.91. You got to buy 1,000. Sometimes some seeds, I'm trying to find one here that might have $30. Sometimes this over here say 5H, so you only have to buy 500. You can also do that by going here and saying, I really only want 500 of these. Put in 500, do the update cart, and see if it will sell you 500. The answer here, it says no, doesn't match it. So you got to put in the 1,000. And then it would work, go update cart, and then that'll work for 1,000. But there are some seeds that you only have to buy 500. I want to say the
Try the Fama Deep Blue and see what that is for pricing.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, that's 85. And this one here, you don't have to buy 100. Okay. So on this one, you could put 100 here You hit the update cart and it's going to stay 100.
You can always just use the number 1 as well if you want to
Correct.
know what the smallest quantity that you can purchase is, and
Right.
hit update cart and it will round up to
Right.
the smallest quantity.
That's really helpful sometimes with, well, plug trays, you got to plug here, but this doesn't give you any quantity over here. And like if you're ordering bulbs from Edney, it never gives you a quantity here. It gives you the size. So you don't know whether you can buy 25 or 100 or 50, which is really helpful if you're doing fall bulbs, because like hyacinths are 50s, tulips are 100. So you can always type that 1 in here, hit update cart, and it'll tell you what you have to buy the minimum. Then you buy multiples of that, whether it's 100 or 50 or whatever. So here for this Fama Blue, you can buy 100, you can do 400, 600, any multiple of 100. You could not do 1,500 of the Blue Note. You have to do 1,000 or 2,000. Okay. Every once in a while, like these seeds are almost always the price is by 1,000. It says 1,000 here. You got to watch sometimes with plugs. Every once in a while, a plug tray usually that has a really high number, like the 475 or the 500s, where it'll be priced per 1,000 instead of 100. But you'll notice that when all of a sudden the price here is $100, because that's $100 per 1,000. Like I know Baltic with Snapdragons are like that. It's per 1,000. So you have to move the decimal point over 2 spaces instead of just 1. Okay, any other questions there? If anybody was unmute themselves and ask a question.
There are no other questions in our chat box.
Okay. And I think we are done. And I hope it all got recorded with the little intermission in the middle of the power going out. Okay. Well, if nobody else has any other questions, then I'll be done for this and I'll get back to my other work. All good.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see you around somewhere. Bye-bye.